Hey, it's Phil from Euroheat, and often we get asked, what do we do if we want radiant heat but we can't install floor heating and we're sick of air conditioning? What are our options? Well, the fantastic thing is you can do what basically all of Europe has done for the last, say, 100 years, and that is a radiator system. So if you've been to Europe, you're probably familiar with these radiators. They're either mounted on the wall in the room, or in larger rooms it might be just one big one or a few small ones positioned around the rooms. Or they could be floor mounted, and obviously they come in different styles. There's modern styles, there's some artistic types, there's even the classic old sort of cast iron styles. And so there's a lot of different options, and they work in the classic hydronic way where there is hot water circulating around a closed system, and the hot water collects in this radiator, and the radiator then radiates this heat out. And radiators are fantastic for two reasons. The first one is that they're energy efficient. And why they're energy efficient is if we compare it to air conditioning, where there is warm air being pumped into a room from above, we all know that hot air rises. And so the hot air stays up at the top of the room, and then down the bottom of the room is cold. And so what happens is that because the air is being fed into the room from a high level, and is also usually, say in Western Australia, is also being sucked out from a high level, that means that the warm air that's collected at the top of the room is also sucked out, and it just sort of short circuits around, and then in the actual room down the bottom where we reside is quite cool and uncomfortable. So the radiators don't do this because they're actually at a low level, and most of their energy is transferred not through heating up the air in the room, but through radiation. And this is similar to standing in the sunlight on a cold winter's day. When you stand in a shadow on a cold winter's day, of course you feel cold, it's uncomfortable. But then as soon as you step into the sunlight and the sun's radiating down its energy on you, you instantly feel warmer, and the reason is because we as humans really take to radiation really well, and that's because we actually transfer most of our energy, our body's thermal energy, through radiation. So over 50% of the energy we transfer with our environment is through radiation. So this is why our bodies really like this. But I digress. That's actually the second reason why radiators are fantastic. It's because they're super comfortable. But let's go back to efficiency. So we were talking about how air stratifies, obviously, and so with air conditioning, warm air rises and it hangs around the ceiling. And especially in old homes where there are vents, say at the top of the walls or in the ceilings, there's really quick energy escape, not only into the roof space, but out into the atmosphere. And that's because these buildings, they're usually like Federation homes or bungalow style homes. They were designed to ventilate in summer because there was no really good way to ventilate these homes back in the 20s or in the 30s when they were built. But it was really easy to light a fire back then. So these radiator systems are actually fantastic for these old style homes where there's a lot of thermal mass. There's thick either stone walls or brick walls, really high ceilings, and say wooden floorboards. Radiator systems are perfect for these types of homes. But even in say Federation or older style character homes, if you have an air conditioning system where there is hot air stratifying at the ceiling level, what happens is most of that hot air, that heat energy that's stratified at the top underneath the ceiling, actually travels through the ceiling into the roof space, and you lose that energy. So for heating, air conditioning is not an efficient method at all, basically. Now, radiators can be installed with a number of different heat sources, be it gas boilers or heat pumps or biomass boilers. The range is endless, and obviously these heat sources have different levels of efficiency and running costs, so that is something to consider, and we're more than happy to advise you on and help you with. And radiator systems are great because they can not only be installed into new buildings, of course, but also into existing buildings such as Federation or character style homes, or buildings where the purpose has changed and there may be a requirement for more heat than there was in the past. So if you think that radiators are something that would benefit you, there is actually a guide on our website which explains how radiators work, why they're efficient, the different options available for not only heat sources but the design styles, because there's so many different design styles. And it explains that you can also combine them with towel rails for bathrooms, so heated towel rails. And it's a really good overview of how the whole system works and is put together, and it answers a lot of the commonly asked questions. So if you have a look at the guide and you think you'd like to talk to someone a little bit more about radiator systems, give us a call at Euroheat. We'd love to have a quick, say 15-minute chat about whether it's suitable for you and your application and what the options might be. And if you were further interested, then we could actually meet up for, say, half an hour, go over your plans and give you some more detailed information.